Now, if you're a tradie watching the show today, I don't need to tell you that having a reliable vehicle is essential to your business. You know it is, yet when it comes to securing finance for your dream vehicle, it's often out of reach. It's a problem entrepreneur Tim Cullen set out to solve with his startup Tradie Spec. Tradie Spec is not a finance service, but it is a game changer in the world of vehicle access for tradies, providing them with rentals under flexible terms and is helping to keep the nation's plumbers and electricians on the road. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us how you came up with the idea for Tradie Spec.
Essentially, it was born when my business partner and I were sitting at our office at our previous jobs, watching utes and vans drive past, noticing that they had specific accessories fitted for trade. We know that vehicles that come out of a manufacturer are ready for road, but not necessarily ready for trade. And so quit our jobs, went and bought our first vehicle, which was a second-hand Toyota Hilux. And we put an ad on Gumtree to get that Hilux on hire. Got a call, hit the road and drove out to Richmond, which from where we are is about a 2-hour drive.
Right.
Put it on hire, piled back into my business partner's father-in-law's blue Hyundai Getz, drove back to our site, sat around, wait for the phone call to go and pick the ute up again, head back out to Richmond, got there, and the car was completely filthy, smoked in, no fuel, big scratch down the driver's side door. So at that stage, things were not looking very good for us. But it's 5 years later, we've learned a lot and we've got about over 500 cars on the road now. So,
wow,
yeah.
Okay. What was some of the challenges you had to navigate in those early days, apart from dirty cars and big scratches?
Look, for a business like ours, the biggest challenges are certainly funding and finance, access to cash flow. A fleet business is a very cash-thirsty business to run, as you can imagine. So ensuring that we were balancing cash flow with profitability from the early stages really helped us to secure more funding to meet the demand that we're experiencing and have experienced since day one.
And the concept of rent to own as well, how did you get that across to tradies, to the benefits on how it works?
One of the biggest advantages of the rent-to-own service is the flexibility. So there's the option to exit the contract early if they need, or if they see the contract through, they can own the asset at the end of the contract. The service is a 5-year contract on a premium fit-for-purpose commercial vehicle. All of the on-roads are included in the product. So to simplify it, it's hassle-free and it's jam-packed with value as a service.
So what have been the biggest influences on your life as an entrepreneur?
This is my first go at a business, so it's one of the things I said to myself was that, you know, I would find people who had been there and done that and walked the path before me, and that would give me the ability to lean on someone who had experienced something that I hadn't gone through before. And so being able to call someone that had built a business before was really important. So my mentors have had a huge influence on where I've landed today.
Okay, it's your first business. What are the big differences to what you expected?
It's by far exceeded my expectations. We started with a single Hilux and I could not have predicted the demand. But in saying that, over the last couple of years, we've certainly expanded the horizons for the business, realising that there's way more opportunity than we thought there was.
What's the biggest change you've had to make?
Oh, look, my missus would say more mature.
No more late Friday nights on the beers with the mates.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What have you learnt from customers that you've had to change the business around?
I think it's really important as a business, and we certainly consider ourselves to be this way, that we're not a charity, but we're charitable. And we found that to go a long way when it comes to building goodwill with our customers. So what that means for us is that we look for any opportunity, any possible option that we can provide our customers to ensure that they get into a vehicle, regardless of the circumstances, is really important. And that's in the DNA of our business. It's what we set out to be.
You've just raised $13 million to continue that expansion. What was that process like? Access to funding, access to capital, have you found that difficult?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it gets harder as we grow. In the early days, we didn't need as big of a funding line, obviously, to procure vehicles, but the important part for us, ensuring that we can secure that funding line, is making sure that we're got a good understanding of the financial mechanics of our business, and ensuring that once we receive the fundings, we're constantly updating our funding partners about what's coming up, how we're tracking, the challenges we're facing, and what we're doing to combat
So building
those.
a relationship with the funders so you can access more in the future.
Absolutely.
Building that confidence.
100%, yeah.
Okay. And your most valuable lesson you've learnt along the way?
It's about the journey, it's not about the destination.
But you hope to get to the destination quickly, is it?
Fingers crossed.
It's a great story. Tim,
you.
thanks very much for joining us and sharing it.
Thanks for having me.
Good on you.